You're listening to Overwatch Contenders Daily, your path to daily news, scores, and insights into the Overwatch League stars of tomorrow. Here's your host, LemonKiwi.
Hey everybody, welcome to Overwatch Contenders Daily. I'm here with a very special guest. It's Nesh, DPS and Zarya player from the British Hurricane, who are back this season, and I'm so excited to talk to you. So how are you doing today? It's the off day, you know, time for some IRL stuff, right?
I'm doing great, thank you. How about you?
Doing great, and my off day too, so I get to relax and do some interviews, do some content. So let's talk about now British Hurricane and Contenders, a pretty strong start, 1-1, and I mainly want to talk about, well, this season of British Hurricane. You guys have gone through some roster changes, so what could the fans expect out of the British Hurricane this season, and what's going to happen now that Kib's gone?
Well, we lost 3 veterans of our team that were big key players in our team and for over the past 2 seasons, I guess. And yeah, but I think we found pretty good replacements for these slots, and we're just building up synergy right now, which is gonna take some time, but I think we're in a great path.
And you were telling me, was it Flippy that was replacing Kib while he had just left for, I think he just got picked up for an Overwatch League team, so congrats to him. But how's Flippy been fitting with the team?
We used him as a substitute for this week, and we only had 2 days of playing with him and basically get him to know our strategies against One.Point, and he showed really great gameplay in the official against One.Point, and shout out to him at this point.
Yeah, he was pretty flexible, you know, playing the Brigitte, kind of that easier role, but also played like the Winston when you guys were trying this him and Winston dive, and it was pretty fun to watch, and no one would have probably noticed it was only a few days with him.
Yeah.
So with your return to Contenders from Trials, so who is your team to beat this season, and what do you think of the teams in your group?
I think every single team in our group has to be respected, and I think it's like there's a big chance of getting upset in our group, because the tank comms are just relies so much on team play, and it can just go wrong at some point in the officials. And as you can see, the Angry Titans got upset against Shoes Money Crew, for example. And yeah, it's just, I think toughest opponents were One.Point, and I think it's gonna be Angry Titans this time again. But I think the biggest favorites, in my opinion, are One.Point.
It's going to be a wild season with this GOATS meta and the tank meta. It seems it's a very forgivable composition that maybe it seems like any team can, I would say any team can play. Still difficult to execute properly, but the upsets can happen, as you said. And I kind of want to talk about your first week. You went against a Trials team, We Have Org, where you had already faced them and 4-0'd them. So what was sort of the difference between Trials and Contenders? Did you learn a lot from them? And sort of what was different between the 2 matches?
I don't think we learned anything from them, but the biggest difference are the rosters that we had in Trials. We had our full team with Fusion, Skip, and Astro, and well, we basically were warmed up as a team, I guess. We had all the synergy and all of the strategies on the fullest potential, I guess, or like best we could have played. And yeah, this time, or like last week, it was just basically the difference in the rosters. We had a new roster with 2 people missing, or like 2 new players added, and but they also added some new DPS players, I believe, and they used some kind of like triple DPS lineups in their tank comps and on other maps, and I think they just improved a bit from Trials.
It's going to be exciting to see if there's any Trials teams that could make it into playoffs. But now you mentioned One.Point in week 2, and it started off well for you guys. You know, you won Ilios, it's your comfort map, and then you drew on Nimbani. So what happened in the next 2 maps that ultimately ended up the series for a loss for the Hurricane?
We've been always really solid on Ilios. It was one of our comfort picks, I believe. Numbani as well, but we, I guess, kind of through it at some points, mechanically wise, or like maybe someone stepped up on the enemy team. But in general, like you have to understand, they have 3 Eagle Gaming players that won the contenders last season, which is hardest Superblue can get amazed. And these players have been playing for over 10 months together in the GOATS comp basically. So they know all these little tweaks in this comp, and like it just made the difference at the end, I guess. And yeah.
It was very entertaining to see the Reinhardt battle between Superpluke and then Numlock, and then between you and Hardest. It kind of felt close at some points. Did you feel like your team just made mistakes, or that they were just had more experience in the GOATS comps? And then you had Flippy come in, so or was it more issues with your team then?
I don't think it was an issue with our team. We did what we could. We improved a lot in this week, especially with Flippy, who subbed in. He did an amazing job in the official. I don't know. It's hard to say honestly. It could be like a small difference, which they knew how to win these shield battles, and yeah, I guess that made the difference basically in this official. But I think we did what we could, but it was definitely beatable, definitely winnable for us. It's just this little difference, I guess.
It was also really cool to watch your McCree with this dive, sort of seems like another card in your hand of the 2 dive tanks, your McCree, and then the triple support. When do you guys bring out that composition? Is this like a plan B?
So it was only on Well, I believe, the stage on Ilios, and well, since there's a big hole in the middle of the map, it's hard to play tanks around it, because there's always a potential of being booped into it, and people just play the safer way with Orisa, or they play just dive into it. And but our mixed McCree comp, I guess, is one of our comfort picks basically on this map.
Oh, on this map. And what other maps could we see your McCree return?
I can't say yet.
Can't say. Okay, don't reveal any strategies. Not until Contenders is over. We'll talk more about.
Maybe you will see in the future. Who knows?
Yeah, we'll see how your team develops and what other strategies besides GOATS are going to come out. And that was going to be my next question. It seems that it's been a GOATS fest, and actually all regions have been playing mostly GOATS. You know, Korea and China, sometimes they bring out these funky comps, but. Well, now that Brigitte is going to get changed a little bit in the upcoming patch, who knows when that'll get into Contenders, but her shield bash no longer going through shields, or do you think that'll make a difference with the GOATS meta, or what changes would you like to see in the meta that might kind of spice GOATS up a little bit?
So, it's not the only change that she's going to get on the PTR at least. As far as I know, she's going to get a damage reduction on that shield bash as well. And she's gonna get like more healing through her passive, and I think that's a slight buff, if not a big buff, against tanks especially, because that's where she procs her passive the most, where she just bashes around, or like bashes 5 people at the same time. And maybe it's gonna make a difference in the Rhine v Rhine matchups, where you basically need a Reiner that is good with shattering, I guess. But I can't. I don't know yet, because we haven't played the patch yet, so I don't know if it's gonna make a big difference. But I think she's still gonna be a really strong pick against tanks, especially. And but yeah, we'll see in the future, I guess.
Yeah, I guess she can't open up the shield and have those easy shatters anymore. Yeah. And that'll be kind of a big thing. So you'll actually get rewarded for keeping your shield up this time.
Maybe she has the flank or something, but
flanking Brigitte, the new wave is coming, and her buff to her healing. Well, triple support, man. The battles never end. I feel like it's 6-minute fights. It has to at some point.
I can't stand it.
Well, Zarya, you're probably happy you're like 100 charge the whole time.
I mean, yeah, it's still somewhat of a DPS role, but I mean, it's still not nice to see a Brigitte in your face, just proccing your passive over and over again and just surviving everything. But yeah.
Well, I'm excited to see what other changes might come out and how this shield bash sort of might affect the GOATS meta, if probably not at all, or when this patch will even get into Contenders. But I just thank you so much, Nesh, for coming on to this interview, and I wish Hurricane the best of luck this season.
Thanks for inviting me.
Well, guys, I'm LemonKiwi, and this was Overwatch Contenders Daily, and we'll see you guys in the next video.